Welcome back to the Pot of Greed.
Welcome back indeed, guys. It is another week of really exciting Yu-Gi-Oh news.
This is the best day of the year.
Yeah, I say it's exciting. Why is that?
Because we're potting.
That's true. I would say it's exciting news, although I guess it's kind of been more controversial Yu-Gi-Oh news, but there's like some good news mixed in as well.
Right.
So, it'll be okay.
But before we get to all that, put your ones up.
That's right. Ones in chat. If you're here in the premiere, we're glad to have you.
Gang, rise up.
Okay, so I guess we should just probably kick this off with the elephant in the room, which is that Konami did announce some changes for organized play. A couple of changes, in fact.
I'm just hoping they took player feedback into account here.
They, I guess, seemingly didn't. These are the changes to the end-of-match procedures that we discussed just a couple of months ago, or weeks ago, really.
Yeah, that wasn't even like
a couple of weeks ago.
Month.
Around the whole like increasing the time in the rounds and the double loss thing. So
it was supposed to be only for Worlds, I thought.
Well, they said that it was. Konami has a way of releasing news these days. I feel like it's like the third time in a row this year where it's like, here's kind of a vague update. Then it's sort of like, oops, we accidentally published this too soon. Or like we take it back, like the Edison time wizard, time traveler thing. And then they later go on to update it sort of anyway. So this time they had said, well, okay, we're going to be looking to eventually implement these rules in regular TCG organized play in the future after we see how they work at Worlds. I guess that these rules worked pretty well at Worlds by their metrics. So we are getting these new changes implemented into the TCG.
I mean, they implemented them pretty much immediately after Worlds, which doesn't at all feel like it was.
I guess they might have gotten feedback at Worlds.
I mean, sure, but even then, I still feel like you announce it maybe a month after.
Like a week after? No, that's what you wait for the ban list.
That feels
the month after is for the ban list.
I mean, maybe I guess
because they haven't released that.
It just feels like they were already this is already baked in. If you can just release this update,
you're right. I mean, they've decided already.
Like,
who are we kidding?
I get annoyed with the Konami news cycle of here are these changes. People get mad. Then they go oopsie poopsie, and then they say something sort of rational, and then they're like, oh no, we were kidding. Here, it really is happening.
So here are the changes. The time limit for rounds has now been increased to 50 minutes. That's something that we already knew.
That's a boon.
And also, end-of-match procedures. What you heard is true. Match draws do not exist anymore. A game can still result in a draw, but if time is called, no player can take any actions at all. The match ends immediately. Mm-hmm. If neither player has won 2 duels, the match is automatically a double match loss. So, for example, if player A won game 1 and time is called in game 2, both player A and player B will have lost the match. Also, in addition to a game loss for the next round, any match that has not handed in the final result 5 minutes after time is called will also result in a double match loss. That's a small little tidbit that got added as well that a lot of people did not see. It's basically like, you got to hand in your match slips. This isn't really a big change. It's just that like sometimes I think people would just not hand in match slips.
I mean, a lot of times, like players go on their little victory lap talking to all their friends before they actually hand in their slip.
Yeah, so if you don't hand your slip in, you get a loss too. And also, though, here's the new change. They have changed the way that Top Cut works. So 3 additional rounds of Swiss have been added at YCS events and like regionals and stuff. Mm-hmm. The total still depends on the number of players, up to a maximum of 15 rounds of Swiss. Pretty long when you think about it. And regardless of player count, whether it's a tier 1, 2, 3, or 4 event, that's to say locals, regionals, YCS, or WCQ, it's going to cap out at a maximum of top 8. And top cut matches have no time limit.
Okay.
So prizes will continue to be awarded to duelists depending on their final standing in the tournament. So like the top 16 will still receive the stamped effect Veiler, and like the top 32 will still get like the stamped card trooper and things like that.
It doesn't change how invites are handed out either, right?
Yeah, regionals, I don't think this is changing how invites work. It's just a top cut thing, mainly for YCS events. So that's kind of the 2 big changes, and I figure we can take them one by one. I know we've technically talked a little bit about the time rules already, but now that they're officially being implemented, and we've even gotten a weekend of them happening across locals and regionals, people have had some time to play around with them. A lot of the sentiments, there's a lot of the negative sentiments that people had before are still around, like what happens when like someone tries to stall the game out and like force kind of this double loss situation, that sort of thing. People still have that fear. It seems like, though, after having a weekend with the rules in play, a lot of the more competitive crowd of players seem to have taken to them pretty quickly. They like them. They feel as though, it doesn't really like it, the events go faster and there's no like cheeky time rules to deal with, no intentional draws. But it still feels a little mixed. How are you feeling? I know you haven't, I guess, gotten a chance to play with them, but just has your opinion on it shifted at all? What are we thinking?
It really just sounds like Konami made Yu-Gi-Oh! Events more difficult and challenging for the more mid-skill and lower player base. Mm-hmm. I think time rules aren't that relevant for the very best of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. Let's say the top 10% of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. I don't think time rules really mattered all that much to them because they're typically so well practiced at Yu-Gi-Oh! That their opponent would have to seriously sandbag to even get them into time danger. But, I think you hear more about time problems from people that are more my skill level and people who are like better than me at this more middling level where we're bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! We don't read cards, we don't read our cards, and we don't read our opponent's cards. And so our games take longer just in general. We have gone up against time more than our opponents, and like every change to the time rules feels harder and harder for us because, well, we will be playing against these time rules more so than anybody else. This whole double loss thing, it feels really bad because your opponent may not necessarily even be trying to like drag out the game, but when you're both bad, you're gonna get there. Stumbling.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, maybe that's the idea, though. Get those bad players out, Just get them out the tournament. It feels way more cutthroat than...
hurry up and scram.
Because it feels like we're just trying to get to the point of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. Just weed out all the bad players quick and in a hurry. Get your X3 and get out.
As for me, my point of view is pretty much still the same as it's been when they first announced these rules, which is that, like, I kind of don't think it's as bad as people are saying. I guess to reiterate some of what I said then, it's like, it pretty much just means you gotta like be more prepared, play faster, don't let yourself end up in these nightmare scenarios that everybody's envisioning. This whole like, someone's going to tank you, kind of like drag you down the hell out of spite, or like I can't play a control deck anymore. Like it's impossible because control decks take more time to win. And so like, I don't really care for the whole like self-defeating, like this is going to happen and it's going to be the worst day of my life. And it's going to just like every round's going to be like, I don't think that's really how it goes. I do think though, that it means like as a player, you have to come into things more prepared. You have to know your side decking, like, habits and stuff. Like you don't waste any time siding, know your matchups. I'm just
not going to bring a side deck.
Or that, yeah, just don't bring one. And also, like advocate for yourself a little bit more. I think there's always been a bit of a tense relationship that players have with calling the judge, like on slow play. A scenario that you see happen so much at these events is players who will come, marching out of the building after the round to go and like hang out with their friends, smoke in front of the door, and claim that they were slow played.
Yep.
And it's always kind of like, yeah, we've all seen it. And it's always kind of like, well, were you slow played if like it was happening the whole time and you never called the judge about it? And it kind of becomes just a convenient excuse. Like somebody slow played me, they sharked me, and like, well, did you call the judge? Well, and you kind of don't get an answer. And I think like what it means now is like, if you think someone's slow playing, you call the judge.
Go
like
ahead and get
don't
that time
feel
extension.
Like you have to fear that confrontation. You just got to do that. Get them that warning so they play faster. Slow playing, it's a two-way street sort of thing. I also still think that even though it is scary, the prospect of a double match loss, I think that the pressure being applied to both players means that it's just in both players' interest to simply play faster. Like,
not in those middling tables.
yeah, now I do fear what this means for, I guess, like
People like me.
a newcomer.
It's gonna be tough.
I'm actually not even so sure though, because I think like something that I've heard people say is like, this makes the game like very uninviting for a newcomer. My hot take, when the newcomers went into time, it felt still just as like brutal and terrible. Because I mean, if you're still both like kind of scrambling to read each other's cards, you don't really know what's going on, and then time gets called, and I say, "All right, Alec, end of your phase. Whoever has more life points wins." Like, it's still gonna feel just as kind of
But at least
anticlimactic.
somebody wins in that situation.
You know, and all
the
that.
fact that both get a loss is rough. I mean, I feel bad. I'm so unpracticed at Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll spend our 50 minutes just reading your cards.
Yeah.
And then I'll spend like an extra 10 minutes reading my own.
Yeah, I know. And so, I don't know. I think that the people that were kind of struggling and floundering will not really be much worse off for it. Like, because I will say, I think that player is at locals where the stakes aren't terribly high if you lose anyway. You're kind of there to have fun and hang out. And so, like, if you get a double match loss, it sucks. We actually had a double match loss this past week at locals. It happened. Oh. And both players didn't seem really very bothered by it. They were just kind of like,
after you played Yu-Gi-Oh! For 50 straight minutes, you'd be like, okay, it's
kind of exhausting.
Okay, it's over.
It's over, finally. I do think, speaking of the 50 minutes thing, I do think that adding that extra 5 minutes was crucial. I think that if they kept it at 45, or heavens forbid, 40 like it used to be, then this rule would be actually brutal, like cutthroat.
I wouldn't make it. I'd be sitting there reading Inspector Border, like, okay, so I can't do what now?
Yeah, so, you know, I don't have too much of a problem with the new time rules. It still remains to be seen, though, how that all...
I actually think it's a boon for the more competitively minded players. I think it will put a pretty strong filter on... within the first 3 rounds, I think you can be fairly certain that the most skilled players in the building are all up, and all of the very worst, and even the only so players who just have a good deck, I think they're gonna take their losses in those first few rounds, and I think it's gonna help the more competitive players more consistently see the higher ranks at the end of an event. I know that's not necessarily a good thing for everybody, but competitive players in just about every game, they do complain when they feel like they can't consistently showcase their skill and ability.
So speaking of that, it does kind of segue into the second thing, which is the whole top change to like only having top 8 cuts as opposed to having top 32 or even 64s. We get additional Swiss rounds to compensate for that. So you will get more Swiss rounds to like play and eventually maybe make top 8, but there will only be 8. And I was a little bit like kind of torn on this as well. I was like, well, that seems really harsh, but then I realized, I guess if they're still giving out top 16 prizing and top 32 prizing, then that's good.
But only 8 get top.
But yeah, only 8 kind of get top 8, like
unlimited time.
How do we? Any initial feelings?
How am I gonna feel, Paul? I'm never going to top 8 at anything.
Yeah, I know.
But I do think I think that makes the top 8 spot even more like hallowed. Mm-hmm. That you get this privilege and boon of unrestricted matches.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be a little bit more of like it's kind of a more like glowing position to have. Like it's something really aspirational. Something that I heard people saying actually was like, this means that it's going to discourage like rogue deck players and casual players from entering YCSs because now it feels too difficult to get top cut.
It will be more difficult to make top cut, but here's the thing, and I hate to say this, the people who are supposed to win and place highly at tournaments are the most skilled and most like, well prepared. Mm-hmm. If you're playing rogue and are not as prepared and not playing the very best strategy you think you can to win, you're actually not really supposed to get that high.
Yeah, something I also wanted to add to that too is...
I'm going to get killed in the comments.
Well, no, I have no issue with what you're saying. I actually think it's all true.
Yeah, we're both elitists here, y'all.
Yeah, that's right. We're elitists and we're telling you all to quit if you're not the best person. No. It's just... There's kind of this thing where I would see people say like, oh, like we're not going to get like cool things like a top 64 Lunalite Gem Knight deck or something. And I think that's saying that is a bit of a discredit to people who play these rogue decks and maybe get a top cut slot, because there's this underlying assumption that like that's the best that they could do. He managed to squeak in a top 32 or squeak in a top 7 range. You should be glad about that. But I think that no matter who you are, your objective is to win. So like, you don't just get top 64 and be satisfied with it. The person who got top 64 with the rogue deck still wanted to ultimately win the event and like do even better. Yeah. So I don't think that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to tack on, and these extra rounds add an even stronger boon for just skillful play. Reduces the RNG variance. I imagine that most rogue players are highly skilled players that like the challenge of winning with decks that are a bit unexpected. Mm-hmm. And if they are as skilled as they say and think they are, these extra rounds are actually to their benefit, more chances to showcase that skill and work their way up the ranks.
Yeah, I guess like what I ultimately kind of came down to with it is like, if you're entering a tournament like a YCS, I guess your objective doesn't really change, does it? Like, keep winning. Like, whether it's a top 64 cut or a top 8 cut or whatever, your goal is to just win. Like, if you play better, you prepare more, and just keep winning, then you will get the accolades you're looking for, kind of regardless of what deck you're playing. And honestly, I mean, I think like both of these rules in tandem, both of these rule changes, for better or worse, simply favor like winning. You know your deck, and you come to this event and like you be ready to win. Play fast, know your side patterns, know your matchups, so you don't have to sit here and read cards all the time, and like don't let yourself get to that 50-minute time thing where you're scrambling and worried about like, oh, is this person gonna like stall me out? There was actually a person I met at a regional recently. I lost a round to them and kind of later in the day. It was the regional that I ended up getting my invite at. And the guy was just like, people were sort of talking about the new time rules and stuff. This is before they'd gotten formally added this past weekend, but a few weeks back. And everybody had kind of some different opinions on it. And he was just like, yeah, I don't really like watch the clock when I play. My games don't go to time. And he did, and it was, and so it's interesting because you can read it as like, okay, he's being, this really arrogant, full of himself. Like, I'm just going to beat all my opponents in 5 minutes, so it's not going to matter. But his thing was like, no, they won't go to time because I don't let my matches go to time. If I'm either going to beat you fast enough that it doesn't matter, or like, if I see that I'm losing, I will just concede and go to the next game. Like, so that I can win that game. There was I kind of admired that. It's not so much the confidence, but more of the acceptance that there's no meandering around the point with it. It's just like, you either win or you don't, and like you kind of like get the job done. I think though that everything you said is still true. I think for the middling player, this stuff makes Yu-Gi-Oh look even more cutthroat. Right. More rounds of Swiss that you have to survive across 2 days. 50-minute grueling rounds where they're just the flames are crackling at your ankles because like if you don't finish this round, you both lose. And I think that's going to be a rough adjustment. I don't think that does Yu-Gi-Oh like any favors. It makes tournaments feel scary.
But to some degree, I guess I look at it a bit like EVO. A lot of people enter EVO of varying skill levels. But I honestly think that only like 30 people enter EVO with the intention of actually winning it. Mm-hmm. There's about 30 people that show up in that building and they're like, I have a shot at winning this. I have planned, I have prepared, and I'm going for it. And then outside of those 30, everyone else is there to like, they have like a much like lower goal.
Most people are. That is true. A lot of people that are entering EVO is more of a let's see how well I can do. Mm-hmm. Like it's more of a like just. It's not so much setting the record; it's setting my personal record. And I got to day 2 at the YCS. I got to top 64, and that's fine.
I think those goals are admirable, and that's really where. If you take an honest look at your skill level in the game, like that's what you should be looking for. Unless you like, if you truly think these like rules are somehow stopping you from winning, like from getting top 16 or winning the event, then you're probably not as good as you think you are.
Yeah, and like it's one of those like probably going to be one of these like tough pills to swallow. I have a feeling, truthfully, in a few months this will be a non-factor. Like people will have just kind of adapted to it, and like it'll just be what it is. Like I don't, want to say that they're like objectively better or worse. For me personally, I think that the previous end of match procedures with like the time and the burn and the life point into phase stuff was like cheesy in its own way. Like I didn't really find it very honest. I sometimes found that it ended in a lot of anticlimactic draws, a lot of like anticlimactic, like someone kind of lost. I play Vanquish Soul, like it. I mean, I can burn easily. Like there were games that I've won at these last few regionals I've been at where I'm like, I didn't even deserve to win this.
Yes, quick burn.
I just managed to get a quick burn with like a heavy Borger before, like they even in their first turn. Like that can happen, and it's just so that doesn't feel fair either. So it's just kind of like, I think what you have to accept is that Yu-Gi-Oh in a tournament setting will actually never be able to be perfect. You'll never be able to just get all the time you need to finish your round. And even if we changed it to any number of other methods of dictating time and stuff, you'd never truly be satisfied. Like you can never quite actually get that perfect round because like if everyone just got to finish their matches, the round would never end.
I have a fix. I have a fix that no one's ever considered. No one's ever considered this. It's just me. I'm the only person who's thought about this.
Right.
So check this out, right? What if in Yu-Gi-Oh, we only had one life point?
Oh, yeah. That's all you get.
Just one life point. I promise you them games ain't going to time.
Yeah. So these were the changes. Like I said, I played at locals with it just this past week. Nothing seemed really drastically different. One pair of players got a double match loss. They didn't really seem to care about it. They weren't in the finals, so it just kind of was.
Now that I have my first new deck built, I'm gonna start updating you guys on how many double match losses I can collect.
Yeah, try to get as many as you can.
I have a new deck in Draco Tail. I'm actually still the same level of player I've always been. So I think this will be a fun kind of journey. Let's see how many double losses I can get.
Yeah, so those are the rules. I'm curious to hear what people think about them, and more specifically, what have your experiences been? Have people at your local card shop taken well to it? Is it bad? Do you feel like events are going any better or worse? What do you think it all means? There have been a few other little small things like announced and shown. We got an OCG Structures promo card that was a new Magical Musket card.
I saw that.
Mastermind Caspar.
And at first I was like, OCG Structures is still going on? And then I thought, wow, OCG Structures is still going on and we still don't have a new anime.
Yeah, that's depressing. We also got a new V-Jump card, Treasure Panther, which is kind of similar to Treasure Panda.
Did we finally get the effect on it?
Yeah, that's what we got, the effect on it. Because it had been revealed, I guess, a month or two ago.
Yeah, I never saw the effect of Treasure Panther.
Yeah, something to do with set monsters on the field.
Yeah, if a set monster's on the field, you can special summon this card from hand, target up to 3 set monsters on the field, change to attack position. Then if you change 3 monsters to attack position, inflict 900 damage to your opponent. If this card is flipped face up, you can send 1 normal monster from deck to graveyard.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird gimmick thing. I don't really know that it's built for much of a real deck. Maybe something fun and mimical.
I don't know what it's going, because I just don't really know what's going for. The payoff is to burn for 900 and send a normal to the grave.
Yeah, but Treasure Panda was something similar to that, where you'd send some normal monsters to grave. So
with these free agent cards, you can never really.
I think they're supposed to just kind of be fun, quirky things. What's interesting about that is it brings me back to the mid-core rant that I won't make, but I will reference, which is that people will read this stuff and be like, "What's the fucking point? It's a gimmick." And that's where I think you need your mid-power format so that the weird gimmicks can be played.
But I don't think this has a place in even mid-core Yu-Gi-Oh, Paul. That's a very specific and limited effect.
They formally announced Burst Protocol.
Yeah, okay, I did see that.
Yeah, it's going to be releasing.
Who's that? Do we know who the cover monster is?
It's like a Boral card or something?
I just don't. It
just looks like
Borals. To me, this looks like Borreload Savage, but I don't know.
It's another alternative variant of it. So, you know how that kind of goes. Like,
where are we getting these new Boros from? That anime's been over for a minute.
Well, that's kind of what Yu-Gi-Oh's doing right now. Is like we're in that process of like each set just kind of revisits a protagonist's ace or a rival character's ace and gives it another new form and another new form. Here's the Link 5. Here's the Link 6. You know, here's the rank 9, now the rank 10, now the rank 11, now the rank 12 that can rank up over the other Utopia Gaga form.
Borreload Fatal Flare Dragon. That's a name.
Yeah, so Burst Protocol is releasing in January. They say New Year's, New Dragons, or something like that. So,
do we need new dragons? You know what? Sure. I guess we really haven't had any like new dragon action.
While you're talking, I'm just gonna adjust this camera. Go ahead.
Because I mean, what we got Draco Tales, but I feel like dragon as a typing has fallen off for a little while. Dragon Link had a good run and then it disappeared.
Yeah, we don't really have like a prominent dragon deck at the moment. So,
other than Draco Tail, which is a spellcaster dragon deck.
A few new figures. Mega House showed this Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight figure. Kind of fun.
Look how round her face is. Wait, there's no dragon?
I guess not, because it's just her. Like Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight.
Mega House. How are you going to call her the Dragon Knight and there's no dragon in the figure? Like, what are we doing here? That's just a knight.
Bandai showed this Monster Chronicles Black Skull Dragon.
Oh, I need that. Let me cop that.
I actually really like this. This is very nice. I need
that. Like Black Skull Dragon was one of my favorite cards as a kid because I thought it was way better than it was.
There's also Yubel.
Oh, it's Yubel. Oh, I need that even more. Well, maybe not more, but it's about the same.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. I think they finally showed the last card in the OCG structure deck, Power of Fellows. It is a trap called Synchron One Way, which basically lets you add to your hand or special summon a level 1 tuner from your deck or GY. People were not really pleased with this card because they feel that it's a little bit too slow to work in the kind of modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, but
it clearly wasn't made for for the modern style of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's more for
it's structure deck
coded,
we'll say
strategy. I mean, maybe if the deck can just set the card from your deck.
Yeah, and I don't know that they have a way of doing that.
I doubt they have it.
But the card is like some graveyard effect that lets it reset itself. So there's that. And also we got new Archfiend support. It's going to be in Burst Protocol.
I did see the new Archfiends. I was very confused. Then I read some effects, and then I was disappointed.
Yeah, they got a Ritual Pendulum monster that's very powerful.
I hate that. Just hate that so much.
I mean, I certainly like what I saw. It's nice because Archfiends are one of those decks that they really deserve it. I mean, they don't get much.
And they didn't get it here either.
Oh.
This isn't Archfiends as we know it. This is a completely different Archfiend archetype.
Oh, yeah, Alec wants his old Archfiends where they roll the dice in the standby phase or whatever.
I didn't want a strategy that made you run old Archfiends, but I would have liked a strategy that was reminiscent of Archfiends. Mm-hmm. This is a completely different archetype with the Archfiend aesthetic, and that's just kind of sad. But also they printed my least favorite type of card in this game. And that is, you can guess it.
Ritual Pendulum?
Ritual Pendulum. My God, do I hate it. I hate it so much, it shouldn't exist.
I mean, Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon was I remember you wanted that card at the time when it was coming out. I
hate it so much. No, I don't actually. I never liked Pendulum Graph either. It's because, and I ranted to this to you yesterday, but it was about the Ryuge deck. Rituals should not ever be in the extra deck. Come on, it's just weird. And I'm old, guys. Ritual monsters, they were never in the fusion deck.
I mean, I will say this. I think that with Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point, they don't, and this isn't actually a good or a bad thing. It's just a thing, okay? Before anyone screams at me, it's just a thing.
It's bad.
Is that Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Konami's card design team, they see every zone of the mat as just a tool to play with now.
Yeah.
Cards can go anywhere and be anything. So, we see these archetypes that are just just put this monster in the back row and treat it as a continuous spell or trap. or treat it as a continuous spell, or treat it as a continuous trap, or treat it as like this or that, and then they can send something from anywhere to summon this thing out. You can send this from here and whatever, and place the field spell face up instead of activating it. Monsters can go to the extra deck as pendulums, or synchros, or fusions / pendulums, and things get banished face up, or they can also get banished face down, and it's very like everything is just a tool. The pendulum zones in general, like the scales, are rarely actually used for like pendulum anymore. They're kind of more
as effects.
Used as effects, and they're just kind of taking advantage of the fact that pendulums are allowed to just be like simply placed there and not be treated as monsters. I think of, Valence and that sort of thing kind of comes to mind. Mm-hmm. So not a good or a bad thing, just Konami is, they're pushing the limits of, what each zone can be.
I mean, we're using traps out of hand. Our rituals are coming out of the extra deck. Like, what's next?
Yeah, everything is coming from everywhere. It's a messy little orgy of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Cards are activating in the extra deck.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're getting those freaking Enya crafts that are like activating while they're face down, and some people find it fun. Like, some people think it's exploring new ground and it kind of keeping Yu-Gi-Oh fresh. I think my only gripe with it really is probably that it means that when everyone can do everything, it's not as special.
I feel like when everyone can do anything, do we have rules?
I know what you mean, yeah. Because we've seen a lot of just the fusions that aren't really even doing fusion summoning. They're kind of just contact linking, whatever. It's very, that part can get a little bit, I don't love that part, I'll say.
Basically every limitation in Yu-Gi-Oh has a card that breaks it now. Every single one.
Absolutely the case. So, anywho, that's, I think, pretty much all the Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh yeah, Master Duel got an update as well.
Is there a new pack?
Yeah, there's a new pack. It's got Gem Knights. It's got Regenesis, which I will be playing. I'm excited about that. And it has a few more at Ignister cards that are mostly just Thinly Veiled Malice support.
Ai-Chi.
So
that's the only one I know.
Yeah, there's Allied Code Talkers in there, and so yeah, it's some cool Master Duel stuff. I heard there were Duel Links announcements too, but I don't play Duel Links, so I don't know. I heard there's a new currency. Do you hear anything about this?
I am on the periphery of Duel Links news.
Let me see if I can find it.
I saw something about something else.
Thanks, that really helps. No, but I'm gonna see if I can find what this new currency is, or if that's even true, or if somebody was just lying to me in a comment.
People don't lie. Why would
there is a new one. It's called Crystals.
So what's a crystal do?
Great question. Glad you asked.
Oh, I do try,
Here's what the game seems to say. As outlined in a recent notification, we've implemented the following changes to the purchase method. In order to improve the services and functionality of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, changes will be made to the purchase method. Instead of charging players to purchase items, this change will have players purchase in-game currency, Crystal, which can then be used to purchase items. So basically, you used to buy the
currency.
Yes, you used to buy. It sounds like you would buy things with just
for $1 amount.
Yeah, for $1 amount, just your own money. Now you buy crystals, and the crystals are used to buy the things. Which
is Konami slow?
Well, as a mobile card gamer, kind of tell me what comes to mind for you.
Oh, I mean, that's a very common system in the vast majority of mobile games, and any free to play game. They pretty much all use this extra premium currency system where it's a barrier between you buying what you want. You buy the crystals and use the crystals to buy what you want. And I asked if Konami was slow because it's very strange to implement a system like that now when those premium currency systems are under more scrutiny than ever right now. And multiple governments have been trying to legislate against them. So we're going to add that in now?
It's interesting you say that because I actually feel like they're probably doing it for some liability related reason was my guess. Maybe there was some trouble in some territories around the fact that you just bought it directly with money. Or it could just be the usual reason any game does this, which is to kind of like, I guess, mask what you're really spending type of thing.
But that's actually what like the EU has been legislating against lately. Like in
Yeah,
their
I don't know.
Hoyoverse games now, before like when you do like a 10 spin or want to do a 10 spin, they have to show you the actual dollar amount a 10 spin will cost you. They have to give you the option to buy that 10 spin without using premium currency now. And they even have to tell you what the approximate cost of spinning a bannered unit is. And in some games, it can be as high as $400.
So from what I'm reading in this comment, a new structure deck costs 300 crystals. But the only way to buy one would be to spend $8.19 on 530 crystals, which, as you can see, that's already that Konami loves that because Master does that shit with gems too, where like the conversion rates are so weird. Like it'll be like, yeah, Alec, do you want to pay like $8.19 for 530 crystals? And it's like, who's supposed to make sense of that?
Is it weird or is it predatory?
I mean, I won't go so far. I don't play Duel Links, so I don't know what the value on any of this, like the perceived value on this stuff is. But I lean towards it's probably just meant to be predatory. Like in the sense that, you know, if I want to buy a structure deck now, and let's say the structure deck used to cost just straight up like $4.99, but now it's like 300 gems and I can buy 530 gems for $8.19, then what that really means is like I will buy my structure deck and then have like 230 gems left, which isn't enough to buy two structures, which I normally could have done for like a straight dollar amount, but now like I'd have to spend another $8.19 to buy 530 more, and then now I can afford the other structure. It's like all of that confusion is usually in most of these companies' best interests. Kind of,
Right.
it keeps you on the hook. It kind of creates this disillusionment with like how much you spent and what that means and what what you have and what you can afford, and you'll always have like some leftover.
Yeah, I mean, that it's very strange to implement a system like that when all those systems are under so much scrutiny. I mean, of course, those systems work, and I guess that's the whole reason why Duel Links is doing it. It's just, it's a bad look because it feels like they're moving backwards when we're supposed to be trying to go forwards.
Yeah, I am curious that there would be adding a premium currency what feels like so late in Duel Links' life.
This is
Like,
very late.
Because Duel Links came out in 2016, and like it's been, I guess, almost 9 years or something. So that seems odd. Like you think they would have just done this a few years ago, and like I'm not gonna say like I think like Duel Links is, you know, should have ended by now type of thing, but more like I'm just surprised that it took them this long. But who knows? I mean, like, people were talking about how Master Duel has been bleeding Steam players for the last few months now, largely maybe because of the formats kind of just push people to their very brink. Malice is a truly obscene unrestricted deck in Master Duel right now. It makes the play experience kind of miserable if you're not there for it. And, you know, they recently added in this new campaign where you get like free packs, like just for doing 3 duels or something. Like they're really doing their damnedest to like,
Please keep playing.
Yeah, like kind of goad players back in. So
I do think Master Duel is going to have to relax their unwritten like policies around the game. You know, Master Duel hates just outright banning things. Master Duel likes to like chip away at decks instead of like crushing their strategies. But Yu-Gi-Oh is such a polarizing experience that slow and steady approach.
yeah, it's funny. Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't. It's not. It's just unpleasant. Like
Yeah.
I think some mobile like kind of games and gacha games and stuff they offer more variety in what you can do, so that like you can kind of just grind your way, right? Like you can grind this mode or that mode, and you'll be fine. But I think in Master Duel, where grinding means like the turn will take, 7 or 8 minutes of just sitting there and watching them play with themselves, and then have a field that you can't possibly hope to break and have to like quit. it's pretty brutal. It gets me always back to that whole like Master Duel just needs other modes. I think the fact that it only really has the main hyper competitive ladder and then just the occasional like little festival for a week or something isn't enough to keep players. Players need more.
He needs to lop off the what's that? The Queen Malice card, whatever that card is.
Heart Scripter.
Go ahead and cut her head clean off.
I mean, there's so many cards that Malice has access to. I could go on and on. I mean, like Gold Sark, Allure, Link Decoder, like.
No. We gotta stop playing. That's what we're trying to tell them not to do. Stop playing around and just go for the throat with some of these decks. Let people play them for a few weeks. Let them spend their gems, and then ban.
Yeah, so.
Will that leave some people salty? Yes, but it'll leave more people less salty.
Oh, okay. So here's an actual other Yu-Gi-Oh headline that it almost feels like it doesn't belong this part of the podcast because it's AI related. So, Konami's AI project backfires. Yu-Gi-Oh videos deleted over unauthorized use of popular actress's voice. Let's get a little bit of background going here. So you guys might remember that Konami was using their AI commentary feature for Master Duel they debuted during Worlds the other weekend.
And you heard our opinions.
Yeah. Not the best implementation. It changes
Sounded
voice
like trash.
and cadence and mispronounces cards and cuts itself off. Kind of a mess. I did say that I thought that there could be some applications where it could have maybe been useful, but they were not doing it that way.
It didn't even bother showing us a polished version of the feature.
Well, anyway, according to a statement from September 8th, Konami has taken down 2 YouTube videos that used AI-generated commentary for Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship duels. The videos are released in multiple languages as a trial for Konami's AI Live commentary project. Prior to the deletion, suspicions arose that the AI model used for the Japanese language commentary was trained on the voice of popular voice actress and singer Hibiko Yamamura without her consent. On September 6th, Yamamura herself commented on X. She said, "The other day I discovered videos where my voice was being used for AI-generated narration without my permission. Although she did not openly cite any names, she's very likely referring to the videos published by Konami given the circumstances. The voice actor said the ordeal made her sad, frustrated, and overwhelmed, and she got her agency involved in dealing with the issue." So, basically, they seemingly stole this woman's voice.
Yep.
Well, here's what Konami says. They say they use the AI model Anelli, which is part of an open source commercial use speech synthesis system called Avis Project. In response to the suspected unauthorized learning, the company said that it respects all creators and has begun investigating the situation. They assured users that none of the AI technology has been implemented into Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel yet. So, meanwhile, the original creator of Anelli has disclosed as of August 30th that the model was trained on S. Giloch Arnotts, which is an adult game character voiced by Yamamura Hibiko, without her or the game publisher's permission. So,
I don't even know why you'd even say that. Just say that you based it off her voice. That was a weird.
Yeah. The website that distributes Avis product models, including Anelli, temporarily shut down as of September 8th while the company investigates the facts. So, yeah, they stole this woman's voice. And I know this is not the first time that something like this has happened.
It's not even the second time or the third time. Like,
it might even be the 100th. It might be like a
million. It could very well be the 1,000th at this point. I don't love being critical of Konami. Oh, who am I kidding? Are you crazy? You're using AI commentary and you didn't do your due diligence to make sure, because you're going to put this work out online and have this a part of your brand and product. You didn't make sure that they weren't using
okay. I know that it is very easy to just blame Konami here, and we should, because they should have done their research. But I'm going to cut them the smallest, and I mean like little sliver of bail here, in that what a lot of companies do when they're working on these AI models is they buy the training data from these like other companies that specialize strictly in gathering like training data. Mm-hmm. So, like it's not like OpenAI might not actually like gather all of its training data itself. It might just contract with some small company that just grabs loads of documents online or scans loads of YouTube videos or whatever. And the assurances that you're given is that like, yeah, all of our training data was ethically sourced or like sourced with permission. It wasn't, but that's the idea. And so Konami may have thought that when they worked with this company, the AI model Anelli or whatever, part of the Avis project and all that, that it was something that company owned, but it wasn't. And so, I don't want to say, because like this is Konami's fault. They should have done more research there, but it's also not entirely just their fault. It's also the fact that this other company stole her voice too, and then they were selling that like voice data or that AI like trained data to companies, like contracting it out, and probably not actually telling them that it's such.
I wonder how many voices were stolen in this.
I know,
process.
And you might remember, like we actually talked about a story about this with OpenAI, the Scarlett Johansson thing last year or whatever.
Any of these stories?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, like the Scarlett Johansson thing where they were like, yeah, like the OpenAI voice model sounds suspiciously like Scarlett Johansson, even though she explicitly said, no, don't use my voice. That's creepy. That's weird. I don't like that. But Sam Altman said, but I like her voice. I want it to sound like that because it's really weird. But like, this is going to be an increasingly common thing, is like voices that just resemble a real world person, and the real world person finds out and they're like, what the fuck? I never approved this. Is it
so, like, I can't throw anybody bail because we live in a capitalistic society. There are, I'm sure, a few million people more than willing to sell the rights to their voices to these like AI companies, and yet they still find a way to rip off like actors and creators. There are people who are so like downtrodden, they'll sell you their voice. They'll say whatever you want, but you're out here ripping off creators as usual, as this technology has proven to do time and time again. Like, I can't find any sympathy. I can't really throw any bail. Konami, you knew you were going to use AI technology here. You also know how AI technology is perceived, and you know how it's being used. So your number one thought should have been, what are the possible like blowback that can come to us, and have we covered our bases? Clearly, we did not do that.
Yeah, it's actually
also, it sounded bad, so it really wasn't even worth it in the first place.
Yeah, I did not like the sound of that AI stuff. I figure this is probably a great segue into our other very closely related little AI story that I have.
Good, I'm already mad.
It starts with a question for you.
Oh, okay.
So, TikTok is apparently offering people money, a deal, to buy your likeness and use it for AI training, potential other things. Mm-hmm. How much would you sell your likeness for on TikTok? Is there a dollar amount? $1 billion.
Selling it to TikTok?
$1 billion today, I can use your likeness for anything.
You break me off of Billy? Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. How low can we go before you actually say no to that? $1 million?
Even $1 million, that makes me feel quite valued. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
For a non-celebrity, for like a non-actor, someone offered me $1 million for my likeness, I feel valued.
Well, I'll tell you exactly how much they're gonna get after the story, but just keep in mind that you can be offered an amount by TikTok to use your license. So, anyways, here's the story. He sold his likeness. Now his avatar is shilling supplements on TikTok. Yeah, welcome to a new era of commercial work fueled by generative artificial intelligence. Scott Jacquemin, a 52-year-old actor in Dallas, fields 1 or 2 texts a week from acquaintances and friends who are pretty sure they've been seeing him pitching a peculiar range of businesses on TikTok. There was an insurance quote marketplace, a daily horoscope app, and a puzzle and brain teaser app, the last of which featured him speaking fluent Spanish.
Oh, I didn't know he knew that.
But the ads seem a little off to them. Mr. Jacquemin does not speak Spanish, he's missing his trademark facial hair, and the voice and gestures appear somewhat stilted. As it turns out, he didn't actually perform in any of the videos. Instead, the ads were made using his digital avatar fueled by artificial intelligence after he licensed his likeness to TikTok last year. Now, a version of Mr. Jacquemin is out on the internet peddling whatever an advertiser might want him to sell, as long as it complies with TikTok's marketing guidelines. It's what Mr. Jacquemain signed up for, but now that he's seen his avatar out in the wild, he has regrets. So imagine this, right? You make this deal and you're like, yeah, TikTok can use my license. And then you get a phone call from your mom or some family member saying that she saw an ad where you were peddling the most inappropriate thing ever.
I'm like, Mom, here's $1,000.
Yeah, that'll shut her up. Yeah, that's right. So, this is what he says. I'm definitely not anti-AI and I'm not anti-TikTok, he said in an interview.
Well, you can't say that. I'm pretty sure that's in the contract.
But you really don't know the ramifications of this, he says. So, yeah, basically TikTok was offering people money to buy their licenses.
I'm surprised I didn't hear about this before.
So, how much do you think they paid him?
So if I'm judging it off my own personal scale, no, it should be judged off him. So 52-year-old actor, what's his profile like? Like, does he get a lot of commercial work? Is he a TV actor?
I don't really know, but
because I need to know what his bank account is like to know what he might be willing to sell his likeness for.
The AI generated versus the real person. There's a little quick video. Where they, I guess.
Yeah, that does look remarkably similar. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so how much? Just take a guess at what that they paid him.
Oh, man, it's hard to tell. Maybe a few thousand. What, 3,000 or 4,000?
Mr. Jacquemain, who was a few years into a pivot to acting after a career in nursing, said he'd been paid $750 and a trip to the Bay Area for the work.
Okay. We can judge this man, but we don't know what his bank account was like.
I mean, if he'd been a nurse and he's getting into acting, he's probably doing okay.
We don't know that.
Okay.
We really don't.
So $750 would be enough for you.
If I am broke.
Okay.
If I am broke.
Okay.
$500 is enough for me if I'm broke.
He worked with an outside agency which said it was gathering footage for avatars that would be used for advertising on TikTok for a year. Mr. Jacquemain and another actor said the agency had not mentioned that their avatars could be used on other ByteDance platforms, like its image editing app.
Oh, wait, there's a time limit on it? Only a year?
Yeah, a year of your likeness for $750.
See, that changes things. That actually lowers the bar for me, because I was thinking this was in perpetuity, just forever his likeness is sold. I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
Now, if you now make the offer to me, Paul.
All right, $750. I can just use you for any ads I want for a year. Tracy Fetter, a fine artist and occasional stand-up comedian in the Bay Area, said she'd been paid less than $1,000 for the same work. Another performer spoke on the condition of anonymity because his likeness had been used in what he considered to be embarrassing ads, including for a fiber supplement targeted to gay men, in which his avatar stated certain sexual preferences. He shared documentation showing that he was paid $500. So you can see it sounds like they're out here in the Bay Area just offering people some amounts of money varying between about $500 and $1,000.
Oh, wait, this is the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Oh, they're out here trying to make rent. They desperate.
And now it sounds like once you've done that, any TikTok advertiser can just get a little carousel of purchased AI people that can peddle their product.
Yeah, I do feel bad for actors who try to break into advertising, because it is lame that it's a bit more competitive to get advertising jobs, because at least for TikTok advertisers, they could just use AI. They don't need you. Yeah. That makes. I mean, it's already not very valuable to do ads on TikTok, but now it's even less valuable because they have options that don't include real people.
Yeah, so it's kind of scary. However, we've got other card game news. MTG accessory provider reportedly cancels Spider-Man products.
I heard about this.
I actually saw this last week and I forgot to add it, but I figured it would be a good time to get into it.
They were talking by the shop last week too.
Oh, were they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the release of Marvel Spider-Man, MTG said, is looking messier and messier by the day. Their words, not mine. That's saying something, considering astronomical pre-order prices didn't get things off to a good start. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the fact that the set isn't technically coming to MTG Arena doesn't make things any better. Now, as if all that wasn't bad enough, we're not officially getting licensed accessories for the set either. So, Ultra Pro canceled their Spider-Man accessories. Yeah, they canceled their upcoming line of licensed Spider-Man accessories. I think that Ultra Pro typically works with Hasbro to create like
They do.
licensed MTG, deck boxes, mats, sleeves, things like that. But yeah, according to a Reddit user, Aram, Ultra Pro has canceled their upcoming line of licensed accessories. Reportedly, this was revealed in an email to retail partners from Southern Hobby, a major MTG distributor. Currently, there's no information around why this cancellation has happened, but players already have theories. Unsurprisingly, the prevailing expectation is that meddling by Disney caused the planned accessories to be scrapped at the last minute. This could be due to Disney simply not wanting licensed Spider-Man products while Disney Lorcana exists. That said, the existence of this crossover at all shows that Disney clearly doesn't mind some inter-brand competition. So,
Yeah. I fully expect it to be a licensing issue. I don't think it's as simple as, Disney didn't like it, so they put the kibosh on it. My guess is that Wizards may not have actually had the licensing rights for card game accessories, like for like the imagery of Spider-Man for these Ultra Pro products. That's just my guess, because they already ran into that once before, right? That's why all the Spider-Man cards have to get different artwork and names in the Magic the Gathering Arena app.
yeah.
Like, I don't know who would have the license, but I bet that's the case, that they found out pretty late in the game, like, oh wait, we don't have the right to this.
Yeah, I wonder how many, because with Ultra Pro, I assume a lot of these products had actually already been made. Literally, were prepared to be getting shipped and just got canceled the last minute.
I have a source that cannot be named because I'm pretty sure an NDA was violated. That I had a source that says those products are made, and now they're in limbo.
That's kind of what this article seems to be suggesting as well. I don't know. That's really unfortunate. But I guess that's what happens when, you're kind of wrestling with all of these licensed crossovers, right?
Especially when you're dealing with a juggernaut like Marvel and Disney. Those licenses go to all these different directions. You got the right to print them on your Magic the Gathering cards, but did you get the right to print them on like sleeves and play mats? With some brands, it's easy, but when you're dealing with something as massive as Disney, it's not that simple. It's really not.
Now, one other explanation could be our next story, which is that Gamegenic, an Asmodee studio, announces gaming accessories lineup for Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay.
So this could maybe have something to do with it.
So Gamegenic is going Magic official?
Yeah, this came out on September 10th. Gamegenic, a global leader in tabletop gaming and trading card game accessories, is thrilled to announce its licensing agreement with Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast for a line of gaming accessories set in the extraordinary world of Magic the Gathering. Now, this isn't like Spider-Man accessories, but they've become an official licensee for Magic, delivering a full lineup of high-quality products to enhance the gaming experience. Their upcoming range will include high-quality card sleeves, meticulously designed deck boxes, premium storage and playmats, and more. They will be thoughtfully crafted to protect, enhance, and elevate every play session and provide players with even more opportunities to immerse themselves in the world of Magic.
I'm actually really happy about that.
And one last thing on this is that the first accessories from Gamegenic will feature artwork from the highly anticipated upcoming Magic the Gathering set that will exclusively premiere at MagicCon Atlanta from September 26th to 28th. So, this is interesting. What do you think about it? You were saying
I think it's dope. I actually recently got my hands on a Gamegenic deck box to put my my Commander deck in, because they make these neat deck boxes where you can slide your commander into the slot. And
that shit's banned in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
I'm actually,
Yeah, they don't, like in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, like you can't have any. your deck box cannot visibly show like.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
But anyway,
so I was thinking of the product itself, but what if you don't show a card in it?
You can not. You can just
okay
not
as long as the card. Okay, so make sure they didn't ban the actual product.
Yeah, the product is fine, but no like leader card type thing.
That's fair.
But sorry,
Gamegenic deck box is at least the one that I got. Really solid. I'm actually very happy with that deck box. Downside, I bought a Star Wars themed one for a commander deck, and it actually doesn't quite hold 100 cards for a commander deck.
Really?
Like the top 3 cards are just outside, and I was like,
that's interesting. I'd like to see it. I
could have just read the box to know that, but I didn't.
So Gamegenic is one of those companies that like I see it in a lot more card shops lately. Like in the last few years, and I guess I kind of just, I don't say like wrote it off, but as somebody who grew up around like Ultra Pro, Dragon Shield, kind of KMC and those sort of more like specialty ones where you'd hear about that a little bit. Ultimate Guard kind of came up a bit later. I didn't know about Gamegenic, and I have a confession. I kind of thought of it as like maybe like a more bargain bin brand or like a secondary thing.
When I first saw it, I thought it was too.
But it sounds like it's been. Like in the last few years, it's been growing a huge presence in shops. They'll usually have those installations and displays.
I used to think they were only a thing down south, and then but now I notice them in just about every other card shop I go to.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I guess they finally hit it big. I know they already had a deal with Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah.
They were like the official accessories maker for them.
And they did a good job.
So now they're going to be a licensed Magic the Gathering accessories maker. I wonder if that means Magic and Casual won't be working with Ultra Pro, or will they be working with both?
Ooh, that is interesting. Because Ultra Pro makes deck boxes and sleeves, and that's, I
don't know.
Trouble at home.
If anybody can shed more light on, if anyone's closer to the matter and is willing to shed some light.
But I don't think Wizards and Hasbro would dump their stock of of Spider-Man accessories over this, because that's still they already paid for them.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel like this means they can't sell them.
The impression that I get with the Gamegenic thing is that they're working with them on just some official Magic stuff, just for the next mainline Magic set maybe. Whereas the Ultra Pro Spider-Man thing seems more licensee based. That's the vibe I get anyway, but who is to say? But yeah, I just thought that was kind of some fun Magic the Gathering tidbits.
That was interesting.
I didn't expect it to be, it kind of feels so juicy and inside baseball-y. Anywho, I have some gaming stuff if you want to game a little bit.
I want a game.
Do you? You sound like somebody in a commercial. I want a game, Dad.
Well, I do feel
buy me a PS5.
I feel like I have a good read on cheesy commercials. I can do that. If anybody want to hire me to do cheesy commercials, I'll sell you my AI likeness for $1 million.
Well, Nintendo's doing a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. That's to say,
that's today for you guys.
Yeah, Friday, September 12th. It was made with the Nintendo Today app.
Or no, tomorrow for you guys.
I know there's a Nintendo app. I guess there is.
There's a Nintendo app?
Yeah, you can download it on your phone, I suppose.
The only Nintendo app I had was Pokemon Home.
Well, either way, it's going to be the first full Direct since the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2 earlier this year, making it one of the most anticipated broadcasts. More specifically, it's going to be an hour long, which will be
they better bring them games.
I think they said, it's going to be an hour long or 60 minutes, and I think that's their longest Nintendo Direct yet, ever. And there's some speculation as to what might be shown. I have seen people talking about maybe we'll get to see more Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which still doesn't have a release date. Also, the timing just falls before the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. So there'll probably be some anniversary year related announcements or new Mario projects. Maybe that.
I mean, of course.
The 3D Mario game to kick off a new system.
This is probably the last Direct before the holidays, so
yeah,
you kind of gotta pump it up. I do have one kind of long shot hope, because we've been waiting for it for so long. I'm hoping that they announce the new Dragon Quest game through the Direct.
Okay.
Because we've been waiting on the next Dragon Quest game since it was announced, which was during the pandemic, I believe.
Is that what, Dragon Quest 12?
13.
Or is it 13? I know 11 was a pretty big one from a few years ago.
At this point, I've lost track of what number we're on with Dragon Quest because we've been waiting for so goddamn long. It was 12. You're right. Dragon Quest 12.
That's what we're waiting on?
Yes.
Like, okay. I'm thinking if I had to make a prediction, I'm thinking big new Mario game announcement. Like a new Nintendo console just came out. We've got to get
such a safe bet. Were you trying to get your 3D bonus bucks from Prize Picks or DraftKings or whatever?
Yeah, very good odds on that. I'd say like, you know, there's got to be a 3D Mario game coming.
Right.
An Odyssey sequel of some kind, maybe something entirely fresh and new. The last major Mario game that came out was Super Mario. What's the name of it? The one that came last year, where like you turn into an elephant. Wonder. Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah, that came out year before last or something, and that was pretty popular. But that was like still a 2D game, so I think that we're kind of due for a 3D one. And I'm not sure what else.
The Switch 2 needs a Smash game.
It does need a Smash game. I know a lot of people want an announcement of a new Smash game. I'd be surprised if we got it here, just because like I know Masahiro Sakurai is like finishing up work on Kirby Air Riders or whatever, that new game. So like I don't know if they would have enough progress really done in a Smash game.
All you gotta do is do a little teaser trailer.
I think that's what most people want. They just want some kind of a teaser, give us something. There could be like a Zelda, but I don't think that. It seems like with Mario's anniversary coming up, it's more likely to be Mario than Zelda.
Right.
And maybe like Pokemon or something. I mean, like, because Z to A will be out in October. So at this point, anything they show in a direct would probably be like just a trailer of like the game coming out the next month. So, you know, nothing like big or new.
No, yeah, that's true.
But it's happening. Exciting, fun Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'll be tuned in.
Or not Yu-Gi-Oh, but exciting and fun Nintendo news. Here's some slightly more like negative or weird news from them though.
Oh no.
Nintendo now has a US patent on summoning characters and making them battle for you.
All right, who gave them that?
Nintendo has successfully acquired a US patent on a gameplay mechanic used in other games. As spotted by Games Fray, Nintendo was granted a patent last week, which covers the action of summoning another character and making them battle on the player's behalf. Specifically, the patent describes a situation where... Yeah, what do you think?
Does Pokemon think it's the only monster collector battler ever existed ever at any time?
I know, it does feel like... It's like, do you remember... There's this like a bit of old, sort of deep cut YouTube history. Whereas there was that channel, like the Try Guys or whatever.
I remember that channel.
Or like, it was like, or the React channel. Like, I think they did both. And like, they tried to trademark the word React or something.
Wow.
Where like you couldn't make a React video. We own that entire genre and verb on YouTube. Which is like, God, imagine that, right? Yeah. So, anyway, here's what they say. Here's what specifically the patent describes a situation where a console or other system is being used to run a video game from storage. The player controls a character in a virtual space. The player can perform an input command to make a sub-character appear, i.e. summon another character. If there's an enemy where the sub-character appears, the player can control a battle between the sub-character and the enemy. If there's no enemy where the sub-character appears, the sub-character will automatically move around. The player can move the sub-character to a different location on the field, and if an enemy is there, they can control the battle between the sub-character and the enemy. This is so interesting. Like, that just feels like that's like, I mean, that's a genre.
Who granted them this patent? Like, because like I can be bad at Nintendo all I want. It's actually asinine that someone would grant them an entire, like you said, genre of gaming.
You could theoretically be interpreted to cover a number of other games besides just Pokemon. Like one example could be...
Let's stop making Digimon games.
Nintendo Pikmin series.
Let's not play... let's stop all the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought about was like, you know, there's that upcoming Digimon game, which is...
Go ahead.
There's Persona... I don't know. Like a lot of JRPG kind
of... The
collectors.
Dragon Quest Monster series, if it wasn't dead, is now the most dead.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure. Like I
feel like whoever had final authority to grant them this patent didn't even do like a lick of research.
Is this like a Pal World thing? Like, is this them trying to like kind of put that down for good? Like,
yeah, this would a patent like this certainly would put down Power World and 100 other video game franchises.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of this, but I know that I guess it's up to Nintendo to actually enforce their patents, and if they don't enforce them, they can lose them. I don't see how in any sane world Nintendo can actually expect to be like, yeah, we're just gonna shut down like Dragon Quest Monsters or like Persona 6 or something. Like,
if this patent was more limited to the act of throwing a device that summons throwing a sphere-like device that summons a character, I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know what? Fine. If you want to limit it to that scope, I have less against it.
Right.
Because not every game needs a goddamn Pokeball. But just summoning a sub character and battling with it.
Yeah. I hope that's not what I think it is. Like, I hope there's more to the story. I might have, maybe missed some key points.
No, we both reading this, and I read the same thing you read. Like, come on now, Nintendo. Like, I was on your side because I didn't like Power World one bit, but this is...
Well, here's something a little more fun in the gaming space.
What you got?
Ghost of Yotei boss reveals they had a massive party when GTA 6 was delayed.
I imagine quite a few game devs did.
Yeah. Ghost of Yotei has been long billed as one of Sony's biggest releases of 2025, but its road to launch looked far more daunting before Rockstar reshuffled its calendar. GTA 6 had originally been set for late 2025, a release window that would have put it uncomfortably close to Ghost of Yotei's October debut. Facing Rockstar's juggernaut would have meant competing for attention in one of the toughest slots imaginable. However, when the game was later pushed back to May 26, 2026, the pressure disappeared overnight, leaving Sucker Punch with a clear path forward and, according to its co-creative director, plenty of reasons to celebrate. And I get that.
Yeah, I mean, that once again, no game developer wants to release anything around like the new Grand Theft Auto. I'm sure Grand Theft Auto sends reverberations around the entire gaming sphere. I imagine
Absolutely.
Even in the free to play gaming sphere, they're like, let's not even bother updating in May.
I mean, that's the thing. The world shifts around GTA 6. Like, it's how it's going to be most viewed new game trailer ever released and all this stuff. I mean, we even see that in other games where what was it? I think we played Final Fantasy Dawn Trail, and it I think delayed its release by a week or two because that was when Elden Ring's DLC was coming out, and so something like that. They want to space them out because gaming's competitive as hell.
People have limited time, and games like Grand Theft Auto and Elden Ring can take up quite a bit of that limited time.
Yeah, they can take up a lot of space in the room. And in addition to the fact that, so much of a game's popularity now, for better or worse, feels largely dictated on, that first weekend or that first kind of week of player counts and sales and stuff. If you don't take off then, you might never.
I mean, that first couple weeks of Grand Theft Auto 6's lifespan, they will have the largest share of gaming than I think any video game franchise has ever had. We're in the social media age. You know what that means? That means that every other gaming post, every gaming article, every streamer, they're all going to be on this one game.
It's all going to be GTA 6 for weeks on end, really.
It's going to be continuous. It will be so hard to market a new game in that space of time. It's just better to avoid it. I know they must have been ecstatic because it's not just that we avoided Elden Ring. It's no, you permanently avoided Elden Ring. You're gonna get your game off, and by the time Elden Ring, by the time Grand Theft Auto actually comes out,
Yeah, like your expected sales window for like release is over, and that's
it's gonna be over. You did it. Like I feel bad for now everybody else in the gaming industry because like dang, they moved into our slot now. Are they gonna move again? Please move again.
Speaking, I think that the fact that GTA 6 is releasing in May is probably for the best for these other companies because most companies want a fall release. You get to kind of hit right before Christmas. Your game can be a really popular thing to throw under the Christmas tree. So people
GTA buy physical games now.
People, GTA coming out in May, I think it feels like it's a less competitive time. So people shouldn't have to really, feel maybe too scared for it. So it was kind of a fun tidbit.
And then in May, it gives all like the kids something to be excited to start doing for the summer.
Yeah, I know. Like it's going to be like a summer of kids playing GTA.
Thank God that's not releasing during the school year.
I know, kids would skip school. When I was in high school, actually, what was the Elder Scrolls game that came out in like 2011? Was that Skyrim?
2011? That was
2011 or 2012 or something.
Skyrim was before then, wasn't it? No,
I think Skyrim was 2012.
I don't know.
Well, either way, there was an Elder Scrolls game that came out when I was in high school. I remember, I was a junior maybe in high school, and it came out, and a bunch of people were just skipping school to play it.
Oh, 2011, I was on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. People were skipping school to play Skyrim, and they were just we're just gonna skip school and play it all day. And I remember being that's the first time I think I've heard of a game being that big of a deal. But I do remember Skyrim was that shit.
When Black Ops came out,
that was another one of those
freshman year
games.
At LSU. My roommates did not leave their room. Classes be damned. It was just Black Ops, Black Ops, Black Ops. And when they finally started going back to class, you know what happened? They would run back to the dorm room and play some more Black Ops. It was insane.
Have you ever done that for a game yourself? Like a game came out and you're just your life takes a standstill. No school, no work, no family, no whatever. No friends. It's just I'm going to be in my dorm or in my room or in my whatever. And not move outside of bathroom, food, maybe.
It's tough. I mean, I spent a chunk of time just being a YouTuber, and so it was very easy to focus on games then, because then I just push all my YouTube responsibilities onto you.
Right.
Oh, the Dragon Quest 11. I think Dragon Quest 11. I went pretty hard on that game because I remember I knocked out half or a little bit more than half the campaign in one sitting.
Yeah, I think I remember Final Fantasy 15 came out when I was in the dorms at college, and I don't think I skipped class to play it, but I literally played it every waking moment of the first 48 hours or so.
What did you skip class for? What did you skip class for though?
Not any game.
Coward.
Yeah, I don't think I ever skipped class or any game. But I did play 16 a lot. That was a release there. 15. That was a release I was very excited about.
I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some game I actually skipped class for. It didn't take much for me to skip class though. So that's not for me. That wasn't saying much.
I guess Super Smash Bros. I think Smash 4 on the Wii U. I remember that was a game that I just played a lot of, and I wanted to skip everything.
Which was the one that we played in the dorms?
That would have been probably Smash Bros. Brawl at first, and then Smash 4 when it came out.
I am almost 100% sure that some of us, mostly me, definitely was skipping class because guys, for context, we were running Smash on the dorm TV. And when Smash 4 came out, we at one point we just kind of left it on the TV as people were rotating.
Yeah, it's a rotating door.
For hours, and I know for a fact I played through class quite a few times.
Yeah, well, here's a little small update to Steam. If anybody uses Steam, I just thought this was a neat thing.
I only use the Epic Store.
A Steam update lets you rename your games. Which sounds like it's a small thing, but apparently it's one of many updates that's happening. But you can now set a custom sorting order, so a game like Skyrim appears in the S area of your collection instead of T for the Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
See, that puts this change in perfect context for me. Because at first I was like, why would I want to give my game a nickname? This feels like giving like Pokemon nicknames. I'm like, I never give my Pokemon nicknames. My Raichu's name Raichu. Why would I change it? But yeah, there's so many games that start with the.
I know.
And it's just annoying to actually like go through your list in alphabetical order when you wish you could just skip to the first impactful word.
Yeah, you know what you're really looking for, and so it's kind of annoying. You type in Skyrim, and it's like, why is it not showing up?
I mean, who even says video game titles that are more than 2 words long?
Yeah, I do think most people kind of have just like a shorthand for like.
I mean, I guess the Elder Scrolls is like.
Do you know what the weirdest, like weirdly long game name is?
What?
PUBG.
PUBG?
Because it's like, what is it? PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh, I just think of it as PUBG.
Yeah, and everybody says PUBG, but like, it is kind of weird. Like, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Like, what a interesting name for a game.
I remember it was a very indie thing, so like, I don't think it was made to be what it ended up becoming. Because I'm sure a marketer would have been like, absolutely not.
A new customization
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon
allows you to set a custom sort name. It's a big deal for people who have huge collections and want to organize them. So that's kind of the Skyrim thing. It also lets you set a custom cover, wide cover, background, and logo. So you can set the game cover to a screenshot of the custom character that you spent 1,000 hours and a dozen different mods on. That's kind of cool. We can change, I guess, the cover little banner thing.
Gooners Unite. We about to have some vile game covers.
And then there's other things like new accessibility modes in desktop mode. The in-game performance monitor is back, so you can actually, I guess, see like frame rates and stuff like that. You can filter private games in your dynamic collections.
Private games, you say?
Yeah, apparently that's a thing in Steam because like if you're playing all the fucking
all the porn games.
Yeah, the like porn game ecchi stuff. Like you might want that to be like in your private library.
Nah, y'all gotta know what I like.
New improvements and fixes for various controllers, notably new analog, joystick, trackpad, and D-pad options, and button icons for 8-bit Do controllers. This is a big deal for me because I actually use an 8-bit Do. 8-bit Do or Do? I don't know if it's... I think it's 8-bit Do. I use an 8-bit Do controller, and it's kind of weird because Steam always assumes pretty much any controller will use the Xbox layout for A, B, X, Y.
Yeah.
But the 8-bit Do controllers use the like Nintendo Switch layout where like X and Y and A and B are both like inverted.
Is 8-bit Do like a popular controller brand? Because I'm not really all that familiar with it.
It is one of the most popular third-party controller brands.
What's good about it? Sell it to me in the audience. You're not being paid.
8-bit Do, if you want to send me a free one for all this promo I'm about to give you. No. So basically, it's a very like clean, minimalistic looking controller. That's part of the thing that speaks to me. But more importantly, I think that they cut their teeth on being a good quality wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch, and then grew to kind of just become a good general all-purpose controller for PCs and stuff. The main benefit that it had over Nintendo Switch controllers was that the analog sticks use Hall effect technology. I don't know exactly like what that means, but basically it prevents their analog sticks from ever getting stick drift. And the reason why I got an 8-bit Do controller was actually for that reason, because we play Final Fantasy a lot, and I would use an Xbox controller. And as much as I really love the Xbox controller ergonomically and like build quality wise, it would get stick drift, at least for me. Mine did. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get a new controller. Maybe I should get something that, you know, if I'm going to take this opportunity to buy something, let me look around and, you know, see through the market. And I found 8-bit Do, and I watched a lot of reviews. And one thing that I will say is that they have a lot of different models, which makes buying one a little bit confusing. But I did find one. I think I have the 8-bit Do Ultimate wireless controller or something. And I like it.
Price-wise, how to compare it to just getting a first-party Xbox controller?
Marginally cheaper. Okay. Like, it's like $10 less. Like, I think mine was $59.99.
Honestly, anything cheaper is a win to me.
Anything cheaper is a win. Yeah, because like regular first-party controllers now are like $70 or something. I think mine was...
the price of a new game.
Yeah, mine was like 50 or 60, so... It was good, and it hasn't given me any trouble. It even came with a... Oh, and that's another thing, too. It comes with a charging stand.
Oh,
which
that's
is like
nice.
a pretty big deal, because you can actually see it on my desk right there. Like, basically... It came with a stand I just like have plugged into my computer, and so I can set the controller on the stand, which keeps it kind of like safe as opposed to just like throwing the controller down on my desk.
Mine sits on top of my PC tower.
And then it's always charged at all times. And there's a little fun little glow underneath. So I've liked the controller. I didn't expect to talk about it in a podcast, but I like 8-Bit too. 8-Bit Do is so good. It's treated me so well.
Okay,
Maybe they
you're
want to
not being
send me a
paid.
few. No, but it's very nice.
But if they do send you one, I can have it.
I mean, I guess so. I don't need one.
I don't want to starve them of a sale though. I always wait for mine to break.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's a cool new little Steam update that I thought might be cool for all you Steam gamers.
They make a mechanical number pad. That's fun. I like number
8-Bit
pads.
Do does?
Yeah, make a number pad.
Yeah, a lot of people like to have those little separate like num pads that if you like do data entry a lot or something.
I'm
cool thing.
even I don't even do a lot of data entry. I just like them. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a nice aesthetic. You know an aesthetic piece that I've started to like really grow a fondness for in the last couple of years is like the knob. More people are getting keyboards that have like the knob on them just in the corner, and you can map the knob to different things.
Whatever you want.
It could be like this could adjust screen brightness or volume or whatever, but also like if you're working in an editing software, it could be, for like adjusting like squeezing or stretching the timeline, zooming in and out of like work on Photoshop.
That is nice, especially if it has a kind of that kind of mechanical feel.
Yeah, that clicky
each click.
Yeah, everybody likes
Love a
like
good knob.
Yeah, very like tactile.
That didn't sound right. Oh well, too late.
Very tactile feedback is something that I have grown a certain fondness for. I think like analog little buttons and knobs and turning, like it's kind of fun.
I still wish we're talking about like peripherals and ways to edit videos. I still wish that I could edit videos in virtual reality. I just still wish I could just grab the stupid timeline and stretch it myself and cut my pieces and grab the clip and insert a new one in. And
yeah, I don't do a lot of like
that'd be fun.
Video editing, I guess, these days. I kind of like to do it more, but I do.
If I could do it in VR, I'd do it all the time.
But I do think that like with video editing, it's more fun for me when like you feel like you have your toolkit of things and you're really able to kind of like just get in there.
You could pull the tools out from like Hammer Space.
That could be a really fun thing, like editing in VR. Like just kind of like moving and plucking and
grab my music
stretching.
And like just kind of like tape it to the line.
Now I will say that would probably get really annoying like an hour in.
Oh yeah, if you're doing it would
like in a very involved edit.
Yeah, that would be hell.
An hour, yeah, you're like an hour in, and it's kind of tiring.
It's like, when did this become Dot Hack or Sword Art Online? I'm trapped in here.
Yeah, I also wonder how well that would really work with like micro adjustments. Like you're trying to like make like something a frame later, and
you can
like
keep stretching it out until you get to the frame.
But then does that mean like zooming in is like swimming? Like I don't know,
I would relish at the chance for more immersive video editing. It kind of reminds me a bit of what it could have been like in Cyberpunk 2077. They had these things called like brain dances in the game, where essentially people's memories could be turned into like videos, and they were used for illicit means and pornography. But then you had like brain dance editors and people who could essentially edit your memories and turn it into content. And I imagine that's what it was like, is like a virtual reality space where they're editing your memories. Oh, it would be cool, but you're right. That would be very tiring on a video. That's even a 15-minute long video would be a hell of an excursion.
It's kind of one of those things where like we all joke about like motion controls in video games until you realize like you just kind of stop. I remember there was one friend I had who played Pokemon Go. Do you remember when Pokemon Go first came out and people had to like walk?
Nobody can forget.
I remember he was one of those people who was like, yeah, like I figured out there's a hack and you put it on top of like your washing machine or whatever, your dryer, and it'll count as steps. And it's like, yeah, we can't. This is why we can't have good things, like nice things. Like it's just because at the end of the day, as fun as motion controls sound to people, you do get tired of that shit eventually, and you kind of just want to like.
My greatest example of that is I've had 3 different VR headsets now, and one of my favorite things to do is I always get this one boxing game in VR, and I love VR and I love boxing, but my God, when that game traps you into like 3-minute rounds against this like NPC character, And by round 2, I am gassed. I am tired. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Oh, he's still hitting me. Stop.
That realization that, like, would you actually last 3 minutes in a round of boxing? Most people, no.
Like,
imagine if you actually felt the pain.
See, that'd have been terrible, because in that second round when I'm gassed, the NPC is still coming towards me. I feel real fear. Because I'm like, I am tired. He's still coming.
Do they not allow you to pause either? It's just
you can pause, but when you're that tired,
I think it'd be funny if there was like a penalty for pausing too. You don't get to pause.
Hey, no breaks.
You only get breaks between the rounds. They're only 30 seconds.
Because I promise you, Paul, in that first round, I'm working that NPC. I'm hitting him. He's not hitting me back. I'm dodging around, hitting him with the footwork. Ooh, I'm killing it. Then he doesn't drop. And I'm like, oh, I kind of hit him my best shot already.
Yeah, you'll never make it to round 12 type thing.
Yeah. Oh God, no. I had to reduce the number of rounds down to like 3.
3 rounds of boxing is
because that third
sufficient.
round, I am gone.
Yeah, like it's kind of that thing where, as cool as VR and like motion controls and all this stuff is, it's like, man, it's only in short bursts. Like that's just kind of how it goes. Like I don't think that people want. I even have a hard time keeping like earphones, like over ear headphones on my head for like longer than like 30 minutes before like even just that starts to kind of feel like gross and strange to me. I have
to get the kind that have some like ventilation to them because it can get sweaty.
Yeah, I hate when it gets sweaty inside of. I know we're like going down a complete tangent, but I think we're like kind of out of stories for the day anyway. So
pod, you know.
Yeah, no, but when it comes to peripherals, I don't want. I don't want my like peripherals to ever make my body feel constricted or like sweaty or kind of constrained in some way. So
you'd be first in line to get your phone put into your skin.
Oh no, goodness no. But I've like recently taken to having like just some speakers for my computer as opposed to like headphones for my computer. Right. You know, a lot of people do podcasts even. Like we're not podcasting right. We're supposed to like both have headphones on.
How can we be doing it wrong? We're the only one.
You know, that's true. No, that's a great point. You know, I'm not even going to finish my point because you're right. We're the only. No, but in other excuses for podcasts,
the failures.
We'll call them that. One might be seen wearing over-ear headphones.
Okay.
And that's kind of what you're supposed to do to like be monitoring sound and kind of like know if someone's peaking or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we don't do that because like I literally can't. Like I will go crazy if I have headphones over my ears for like an hour. I think I would just die.
It's because the AC always off too.
That's true. I need to turn that on, but then that's gonna mess with the audio quality. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, it's a never-ending problem. One problem leads into another. You know, we mentioned boxing, and this is not usually a story that would come up in our podcast. But I think Netflix is holding a boxing match or streaming a boxing match this Saturday.
What match is that?
Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. This is huge because in boxing they're famed for their pay-per-view system, which is very antiquated system of watching much of anything.
Pay-per-view for anything I think needs to just kind of go.
And you could spend a good $70 or more buying the pay-per-view rights to watch, you know, a singular fight. I mean, there are usually other fights on the card, but you pay like $70 for that event, and God,
$70 just feels like so much to watch boxing on your TV.
Because it feels rough, even when you're watching like your favorite boxer. It's like, yo, that's kind of a lot of money. Like, we complain about going to the movies.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, because listen, you know, I actually like Canelo Alvarez, believe it or not. Random fact about me: I know a little about boxing. Alec has taught me things over the years. Mm-hmm. No, but I like to watch a good boxing fight. I do. I'm like glued to the screen for the 12 rounds or however many rounds. But even at its longest, that match, unless you're also watching the undercards, even with the undercards actually, it's effectively like 3 hours of entertainment, right? Like 4 maybe, I don't know. But $70 for like 4 hours of entertainment it does make you kind of appreciate like a video game that's like $70 and you get, maybe 40 hours or something out of it.
There's a reason why people were pirating the absolute mess out of those fights, because in this economy,
yeah, it's asking a lot.
But this is actually, I think this is the first, like, maybe it's not their first fight, but it's definitely their Netflix's biggest fight. And now you can watch like 2 world-class competitors box for the same price as your Netflix subscription.
Oh, is it? So this is included as part of your subscription. You don't pay anything extra.
That was my belief. I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
Okay, well, here we go. It
says,
says
pay a little extra.
Fans can subscribe to Netflix for as low as $7.99 to watch the event. So yeah,
okay.
I believe you only
So you
need
just
a
have to have
Netflix
Netflix.
subscription, and that's pretty easy. We all steal those anyway.
I mean, Netflix has their way with it.
Yeah, that's true.
They've
They've
cracked
making
down
it
hard on the house system.
But wait, whose Netflix do I use?
It's yours.
Mine? Is it mine?
Yeah,
I'm paying for that?
Yeah. Funny how I know that and you don't. It goes to show.
Well, I didn't earn this fight. I've earned it.
we all split up like our services basically, because like what do I pay for? Because you have
Judge him, y'all.
You're Crunchyroll and Netflix.
Yeah.
I have Amazon Prime, which I think actually Alex has that too.
Alex also has
But
Prime.
but usually whenever we watch like Vox Machina, we're watching on my Prime account, so like it must.
Okay. I guess that technically counts.
Yeah,
but I don't watch Vox Machina. What do I get from your Prime? You know what? You gotta order things on
I
Prime
bought
delivery.
HBO Max recently, so we could finish watching. What was that anime from last season? Lazarus.
I thought we were stealing that.
No, we were, and I got tired of it. This is what I talked about last week. We were watching it like on the service.
Yeah.
And then
I canceled my
subscription. Then
subscription.
you canceled your subscription. Then we had to use some other means to watch it. And I got annoyed with like just the quality. It's compressed. Like I don't want to watch it like this. And the audio was a little desynced or something. And I'm very particular. And so I bought HBO Max just to watch that. And I need to probably cancel that. Well, anyway.
Run it up.
Maybe there'll be some other anime or something that'll.
Maybe there'll be a boxing match on there one day.
All right, we have some questions. Time to do some pot.
All right.
So, like last week, I'm going to do a couple of questions from the viewer submission form and a couple of questions from the YouTube community. But I'm going to use this opportunity to let you guys know that I want to start basically shifting all of the questions to be from our YouTube community, just so that it's all together in one place. To that end, I also have just gotten rid of the Pot of Greed Twitter account. It was a very small account. I was not doing a great job of keeping up with really like posting on it anyway. It barely had a following. I figure it's better to just keep everybody you guys can just...
We're all on YouTube together.
All in this one place on YouTube. It'll be easier this way.
I guess for the people who are listening to the pod not on YouTube, then...
Yeah.
Y'all got to come to YouTube.
Yeah, come to YouTube and leave a question.
I mean, the pod's still going to be up on the different services. It's just that to leave questions, you will have to.
Yeah,
on
so
YouTube.
We'll probably do this week and maybe next week, and after that, we'll just sort of deprecate, slowly transition away. Okay, so one of these questions is Yu-Gi-Oh related, and one is not. So we'll start with the Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you think Yu-Gi-Oh should embrace its moniker as the quote Dark Souls of TCG? With nobody expecting Yu-Gi-Oh to be a beginner-friendly card game, maybe Konami should double down on the high difficulty to let players know they're going to be curb-stomped in a Yu-Gi-Oh match if they come unprepared. It won't attract many players, but at least it can build an identity just like Dark Souls did as a video game. This is like kind of interesting. What do you think?
Is that the identity that a brand would really want? But really, I would feel like with the new rules they're implementing, I mean, I feel like we kind of are getting there. It just sounds like, Yu-Gi-Oh's the get good card game. You want to play in our tournaments? Get good. You want to have fun even playing in a friendly? You kind of got to get good.
I think this brings me back to an old conversation that we've had a few times even on this channel, which is that Yu-Gi-Oh can be a bit of a duplicitous marketing endeavor because they will make these like tins and stuff that have Yugi and Kaiba and Dark Magician and Blue Eyes and like kind of have you believe that it's the same like characters you know and love from your childhood and stuff. But then you get into this game and you realize like those decks aren't really good and you'll get curb stomped if you try to play most of them.
Stomped out.
Not all of them. Some, there can be exceptions like Yubel maybe or whatever. But like in a general sense, it can feel very two-faced. Like we're goading you in with like your favorite characters from your childhood, and then like you get in here and you get wrecked by Vanquisol K9.
It's like, come and play. We have Gate Guardian and Sacred Sarcophagus.
Yeah, they suck.
And Malice.
Yeah, then you get like a Malice, 10-minute turn on Master Duel. So I do think that it would be kind of interesting if Yu-Gi-Oh! Leaned in and kind of played the heel almost, where it's like, yeah, we're just a fucking hard card game. Like, come to it if you're hardcore and you think you can handle this. You're going to get your shit rocked. And like, you can either cry like a little bitch and leave and play Pokemon, or you can stick with Yu-Gi-Oh! And like, and I think
we're not saying only bitches play Pokemon. We're just not saying
I'm
that
playing the character.
As well.
Okay. But in all honesty, I don't think Konami would ever want to do that because like they really probably can't afford to further limit, the potential draw of the game. What about you? Like, do you feel like if it's hard to put yourself in the shoes of a person who has never played Yu-Gi-Oh, but do you think that would attract you or no? Like, if there's like a card game that almost said like,
I think
you can't handle me. Like, let's see if you can handle this game.
I feel like there's a segment of people who like challenges who this would appeal to, and I think they're already here.
Yeah, that's actually true. I think most people who are competing in Yu-Gi-Oh like this sort of challenge. And that's maybe what they get out of it. But there can always be more. Like, sure, I wouldn't be surprised if there are more like people, particularly like in the fighting game space. I feel like that would be a place to look. Maybe kind of the MOBA space, sort of esportsy vibes. Like, if you just market this game as like, this is something that proves that you are smart and proves that you are, calculating and just this master of strategy and outdoing your opponent.
Chess of card games.
And like, if you can't finish your goddamn round in 50 minutes, you lose. Both of you, bitch.
Both of you has the bitch at the end.
Yeah, like it's very harsh.
That's what it means to be hardcore. You just get called a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. Like, I feel like it's. From the outside looking in, that's kind of the rep that I hear people give Yu-Gi-Oh! As it is. They just don't say it in such... They don't view it as like a cool thing. I think most people are like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is hard, and I don't like that it's so demanding and crazy to learn, and so it took me out of it. Like, that's what I hear a lot of people say.
Yeah, I mean, maybe instead of having starter deck products, we should have, like, hardcore decks.
Yeah, master deck product.
It's like, if you don't like the hardcore decks, well, there's also, luckily we're next to the baby aisle, so you can get your diapers.
That'd be really funny. That's where you put the Yu-Gi-Oh cards like right next to the baby aisle.
Like, so what do you choose? Are you a baby or a duelist?
Yeah. Are you gonna duel or are you gonna drool?
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they should do it. I think it'd be pretty funny though.
Like,
I almost want to say like, what do you have to lose? But maybe that's a little too intense.
I mean, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh players, we're in for a penny and in for a pound. They can't really lose us, so
yeah.
All we can do is find. I mean, we're having a hard time drawing in new players anyway. I guess it's worth a shot. Let's get Jerome to do it.
Jerome just calls people like bitches.
He should just be in all
rude.
The promotional material.
So here's the second question. This one's a little bit longer.
Oh.
But it's interesting. Okay. Hey, Paul and Alec. Did either of you watch internet reviewers when you were younger? Like The Nostalgia Critic, Ben the Sage, James Rolfe, etc. I used to watch a lot of reviewers when I was a kid and /teen just because I was broke and didn't have any money to partake in the movies /games, etc. With the advent of emulation and video streaming, do you think this is the reason these creators have fallen to the wayside, even though 10 plus years ago they were very prominent on the YouTube platform? What reviewers did you follow, if any, and do you guys play any games older than current systems via emulation? And if so, what are some older games you've been playing? Sorry, this question might be long or confusing. I'm writing this at my desk at work. I actually really like this question. It's very fresh and kind of different. I have thoughts.
I'm glad you do. Let me answer
first.
So,
yeah, you can start because I know you probably
I don't have nearly as much of a history with YouTube. When I was a kid, I didn't even know YouTube existed until I got to high school.
What year did you get to high school though?
Actually, even then.
Okay.
Because I was introduced to online music videos when I got to high school, because that was where I would watch Crank That Soulja Boy music video, and what was that? Was that the Yahoo music player or something like that?
Yeah, it sounds like
something fishy. Yeah, I really didn't use YouTube until I got to college.
Well, I did, I used a little bit of YouTube back in the day, and I watched game reviewers. I remember I've watched like AVGN. I've watched.
I guess I watched some anime on YouTube. That's true.
I've watched a fair bit of like just different video game reviewers. I tended to kind of watch like Let's Plays and playthroughs more than like outright reviews, although I still think that falls in the same category of like sort of a dying art of like, a bygone era of YouTube, so to speak. And they also go on to ask that, like they say they used to watch a lot of them because they were broke and didn't have the money to actually like partake in movies and games and stuff.
Gotta live vicariously through them.
That is very relatable. That's more so my relationship, not just with video games, but like with a lot of tech products. I love watching reviews of things that I could like never afford. Like I wasn't going to buy all these smartphones and, like even like game consoles and stuff, but I still love to just hear about their ups and downs, their technical specs, like, what it would mean if I maybe could buy them and all that.
I think because when I was a kid, my internet was very limited. If I didn't have it, it kind of just didn't exist. Because I didn't have I remember when the PlayStation 3 came out and existed, I didn't have one. And since I wasn't really online, it kind of just didn't matter to me. And so I never really looked up any reviews about it, because I would have to fight my parents for the computer, and they'd be like, why are you in there watching stupid videos? That would have been annoying.
So they also go on to ask, do you think that's the reason why these creators have sort of fallen to the wayside, even though they were very prominent maybe 10 years ago? Absolutely. I think that's a factor. The fact that it is, Twitch streaming has taken off.
I would say streaming is probably a huge.
That's a big part.
Change to that industry, because nowadays people go to their favorite streamer to hear their opinions about the new movie or video game,
but also to like watch them play it.
Right.
Which I will say this: I can't watch like just a person like stream a game playthrough. I don't know what it is. This isn't anything against people who can like do that. I don't. It's very bizarre for me.
I think if you think in a weird way, I think it's like watching a review with someone who is who you have like this parasocial relationship with, I guess.
Like, so here's the thing with a review. Like, let's say I'm watching like an IGN video review of a game. It's like this concise, like 7-minute produced piece of content. It's going to kind of break the review into some categories, show relevant footage, gets me in, gets me out. And here's what's good about it, and here's what's bad, and here's your numerical value. There's plenty of like, gripes you can make about different types of review systems like that. But either way, it kind of got me in and out. I think with streamers, I don't even know how to describe what I feel when I try to watch them. It's like watching somebody playing a game on their couch, but I'm watching through the window of their house. And it feels weird. Like, I don't feel like I'm there with them. I guess some people do. And I don't, like, whenever I, like, you'll see these streams of people, like, playing, Fortnite or, like, Overwatch or something with their friends. And, like, so they're on chat with their friends. And they're all talking. And, like, I'm in the Twitch chat watching them do. It's, like, it gets too many layers of, like, weird separation. And, like, I don't enjoy that.
It's because your focus is different. I think you're looking at the game as your primary focus, and in that way, the streaming and streamers feel like a barrier to you getting what you want.
Yeah, they're getting in the way.
But
for me,
I think for people who really vibe with streaming and really like watching it, they're way more focused on the people doing the streaming, because they form that parasocial relationship. When they say, "Chat, how big do you think that chicken is," or something?
We're gonna.
They really feel like they're being spoken to themselves, because they don't actually, in a weird way, they don't care what the streamer does as long as they're doing it.
Yeah,
they'll watch whatever they play.
And I do think like emulation is probably factored in too. Like it is very easy to just sort of play whatever you want if you're willing to sail the high seas or emulate or whatever.
Arr.
But I do think that it's maybe just it's more so streaming and like changes in people's tastes. Like nowadays, I don't even know if people really watch like a video review of a game. Like they do, but I think more so the conversation is just like around Metacritic scores and just maybe watching a streamer play it and kind of just hashing out your thoughts in the chat. I don't know. Like
I will typically watch a video game review right before I buy it. And that is not to help me with the buying decision. I'm already buying it. It's just for me. It's a part of like the hype of getting.
It's
a new
the ritual.
Game.
Same. So we're
watch
like,
the review because I'm hyped for.
Yeah, I know. I like to watch.
I'm going to buy it.
You've decided. Yeah,
sometimes
you know you're going to buy it.
It's already bought. I'm just waiting for it to either come in or waiting to go to Best Buy or something.
Yeah, it's just like It's kind of similar to like reading the instruction manual on your way home as a kid.
Yeah,
type of thing.
That's the energy.
Yeah, like I like watching video game reviews. I think that watching someone streaming it is just weird. I don't know why I can't get into that. If somebody truly like enjoys that sort of content and they can maybe explain what it is that they like about that. I know some people say that they just put it on like a second monitor and kind of like do their work and they kind of just turn the volume low and like let the streamer, I don't know.
You just need to form a parasocial relationship with someone. You just got to pick somebody, anybody. Team Samurai X1.
Yeah, that's right. I'll just form a parasocial relationship with Sam, watch him fucking stream all day.
Yep, just do that.
And then finally, do we play any older games like through emulation?
Oh, man.
Yes, no?
Yo, so I have one game.
Okay.
That I always have to go back to. This game has me in a chokehold for life. It has been remade. I have emulated the original. I've emulated the remakes.
Okay.
Tecmo Bowl Kickoff, man. I love that game so much. For context, guys, if you don't know what Tecmo Bowl is, it's a very, very old American football franchise. It's completely in 8-bit. The graphics are terrible, and all the teams are dated because they're from like the 70s. But there's just, in a world where people were playing Madden and eventually 2K, Tecmo Bowl, that was my game. My boy Bo Jackson.
I know nothing of this, but it sounds like you like it.
I love it. I've emulated that game so many times.
For me, it's just like a little bit of Pokemon, and like I play obviously Super Smash Bros. Melee, if that counts. Like Slippy and stuff, people will know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, here's a couple of quickies from the channel comments over in the YouTube community. Just thought I'd take a quick look at them.
Let's dip in.
So, aside from the Yu-Gi-Oh ones, are there any online/mobile card games that you enjoy? Things like Hearthstone, Marvel Snap, Gwent.
I play TCG Pocket, but there's a bit of an asterisk there because I kind of just opened the packs, and I do very limited battling. Like sometimes I'll battle Alex or I'll do the little solo battle challenges, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, card games? No, I guess not. I'm Yu-Gi-Oh pilled.
I can barely play Duel Links.
I don't. I can barely play mobile games. It's just not my genre. I know you're huge on mobile games. You're always playing a new one
installed on my phone today.
Yeah, that's true. It just found its way onto your phone.
It just installed itself.
Yeah, what game?
The new Dragon Ball Z MOBA. Like, what's it? It's called something Squad. It's too new. I don't know the name yet. And I only pre-registered on a whim. I wasn't even sure if I was going to play it. All I've done is tutorial. It's fine, I guess. MOBAs aren't really my jam, though.
Yeah, it's a genre I can't really do too much of. I mean, I tried to play, I think, Dota as a kid. Or like in high school, I guess. I couldn't do it. 30-minute games terrify me as well. Like being like trapped in there for like 30
as a
minutes
Yu-Gi-Oh player, that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, that is, isn't it? I guess like the 30-minute game with like a bunch of people. Maybe like one-on-one is different, but like just being like trapped. Because I always got the impression that like that was half the reason everybody was always so pissed. You know, everyone talks about like, you know, league players are always like pissed off and mean and cussing everybody out. But like I think it's just because like you're kind of trapped with like people for however long those games go, and like if your team sucks, like
I mean, that's why people rage in shooters. You're locked in a lobby for like 10 minutes and your team's losing and they're trash, and they're the whole reason that you're putting them on your back and they're still letting you down. You just hate all of them, but you're here for 10 minutes. If you want to triple that, good luck. There will be bloody murder in those lobbies.
And here's a quick one. Someone says Rurouni Kenshin's coming to Union Arena in a week. Remember hearing you both say you like the anime, maybe worth checking out. If it's Union Arena, I'm sorry to say I probably won't be checking it out.
The next Union Arena product I'm buying is the Nikkei product. And that's not
Frickin'
because
figures.
I'm going to play Union Arena. It's just because...
Well, you can't play it with one hand.
What am I going to do with my other hand?
Anyway, well, why are you getting the Nikkei cards?
Oh, just because I play Nikkei.
Okay. Yeah, Union Arena is a tough one for me, and it's not that I don't... It's kind of like a Google Images card game. Like, too many of the cards are just like screenshots from the animes, and something about that turns me off. I want a card game to have like art on the cards. It feels like Union Arena doesn't get to have much of an identity with me.
For me, card games have actually become way too expensive as a hobby now. I got to start limiting myself.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like, I'm not going to get into the Spider-Man Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond set. As big of a Marvel fan as I am, and as much as I know about Spider-Man, I got too much on my plate.
Yeah, it's a lot. It feels like it's a lot to process.
Like, I'm still reeling from Final Fantasy.
It's actually wild just how much, like, because, we have like our little group chat, and like Chris or Larry will be like, okay, here's this next Magic thing. And it's like, God, they come out so fast. Like, it's just, there's always something new. And it's like the Spider-Man set's happening, but there's also like the secret layers. And it's like, there's 4 separate ones that you can like buy. And I'm just
There's
like,
always a few.
if you are the sort of person who just kind of wants to get everything, it seems hard. But anyway, yeah, Rurouni Kenshin, love it to death, but Union Arena is just not my jam.
Maybe you can buy a starter deck.
If they make a Rurouni Kenshin starter deck, I could be convinced to buy one.
Like,
I'll play it like one day against you.
I was going to say, and just never open it.
Or that. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for this week's podcast. Hopefully you guys liked it. Mm-hmm. We'll be back next week. I might try out a different layout for the pod.
We about to feng shui this shit.
Different in mind. We'll see if it works. Cool, that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for the channel members who support via a monthly donation. As you can see, we don't have any actual advertisements in this pod.
We don't.
Or sponsors, so if you don't mind.
So you kind of are everything to us. And speaking of which, you're going to get a bonus episode this week.
Yeah, well, we're trying to get you guys a little bonus episode. Probably out tomorrow.
We don't know what the topic is, but it's going to be something.
It'll probably be the thing that we said we would do a topic about last time.
I forgot.
It'll be a surprise for the bonus people.
All right,
okay,
man.
Cool. Have a great week. We hope you're all having a good one. Let us know what you think of all the Yu-Gi-Oh! And other news that we talked about this week, and we will see you next time.
Pass turn.